Now we're gonna get into get off my lawn, Tom Brady.
You.
Get off my lawn, Tom Brady. I'm a fan of get off my lawn, Tom Brady.
Yeah, man, that's what's up.
Um, I've gone on record saying that I over time gradually came to appreciate Tom Brady. I stopped hating him so much,
Mhm.
but post retirement, Tom Brady has been refreshing.
Oh yeah.
And Tom Brady thinks that young athletes today have a real big problem with their selfishness. He thinks it's too much me, too much selfishness, and he thinks that that's like a big problem with today's young athletes. So, this article from Outkick says Tom Brady torches young athletes for being selfish. Tom Brady doesn't sound like the biggest fan of the current generation of athletes coming through the pipeline. Brady ended his NFL career with 7 Super Bowl rings and is widely considered the greatest player in league history. He was also known during his playing days as being an incredible leader. Former Pats and Bucks QB demanded the most out of his teammates. Buy-in was mandatory if you wanted to roll with Brady. The team had to come first. He's not sure that's a mentality that exists much with young people these days. So you know what? The rest of it is just pretty much what he said. So what
Mhm.
I'm gonna do is I'm going to kill this screen and I'm going to open up a different tab so that we can catch. It's a very brief video, very brief. It's not that long, but here's what Tom Brady had to say about today's athlete and what he perceives to be a big problem with them because of their selfishness.
And I think the biggest problem with a lot of fucking kids these days, all about them. It's all about them, their brand, their social media. And then when it's about me and then not about us, well, there's no way to succeed as a team if all you're doing is thinking about how selfish it is for you to get the attention. And I think
Yeah.
So there you go. Tom Brady's what 45,
Yeah. He,
46, whatever
he
he
up.
is.
Yeah, he up,
Yeah.
man.
So that was a get off my lawn take from Tom Brady, I would say. Talking about the selfishness and the brand and all of this kind of stuff. The article goes on to say that's about as blunt as it gets in terms of sharing your feelings on selfish athletes. You can watch his comments below. Um, Look no further than NIL and the transfer portal in college sports. Guys will cut and run if they don't feel like they're playing enough or getting enough money. Gone are the days of slowly developing over time and being patient. So that was more of an op-ed with the author of that piece, sort of giving his opinion on what Brady
Mhm.
had to say. But Brady is not really here for, the selfishness of today's athlete. Do you concur with those sentiments?
1000%, man. He's speaking my language. Just earlier in the topic, we were talking about. I think we were talking about the little Brazilian guy. But I was just saying that, building towards something like having a common goal, uh, building like a team. That having something like that is what makes sports, and that's what makes champions champions. Individualistic behavior, um it what it does is it creates competition amongst your team, and it waters things down. Then it's a divide and conquer kind of situation. So overall, I think that this also speaks to a societal thing that's happening. So yes,
Absolutely.
athletes are doing it, but this is more of a societal thing that these kids are just young people who happen to play sports. So they're bringing that behavior into the sports realm, but this stuff is going on everywhere. And I think it was either last week or a couple weeks ago I had mentioned that just you know here in the West, individualism is king. There is no communal ways of doing things. Man, remember growing up, bro, and we was learning stuff like nuclear family and all this other stuff. Like that stuff's gone. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody living with grandma and grandpa no more. There's people all over the country, all over the world. People really don't know their aunts and uncles like they used to. People don't know their grandparents like they used to. And with this lack of community, there's naturally going to be an individualistic mindset. And if you're going down this windy, dark road with a whole bunch of wolves, coyotes, and nowhere, no light in sight, and you walking down that road by yourself, I would argue that your survival rate is a lot lower than if you came with, a team of people. And life is a journey of a windy road, and you're going to need assistance going down that road. You're not going to make it by yourself. If you do, you're going to be the most callous person out here. And who wants that? So community is a whole bunch of things. It's protection, it's wisdom, it's culture, and it keeps people fighting for something that actually means something. People with substance. But individualism breeds vanity, greed, envy, and all the kinds of things that's making the world mad at this point. So yeah, Tom Brady has an absolute point. Tom Brady, post retirement Brady, out here crushing it like post retirement Kobe. What he got going on, man? But I want to see Tom Brady's detail. I want to see him detail some football, man. I feel like that'd be pretty fire. So, what are your thoughts, man? Do you agree with Tom Brady? Do you feel like today's generation is a little bit too fixed on themselves and not enough for the team?
Yeah, I agree with what you said. I pretty much don't have too much to add. He was talking about it within a sports context, but really it's a societal observation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Narcissism has become an acceptable form of behavior,
It has.
is what we have seen. Literally, that's what we have. That's what we have going on. It doesn't appeal to my sensibilities because I come from a previous time, and I really do think that you can chart this based upon
Hmm.
how much of your life you lived before there was like widespread internet use and social media activity. Like that's kind of the general, you know, time frame that we are looking at here. A couple weeks ago, we talked about Doja Cat getting mad at people who are criticizing her hairstyle,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the basically the bottom line for me was you utilize this platform at your disposal for your own personal benefit all the time. But when people criticize you via the same means that you're able to benefit from on the same platform, you get upset at the world because you feel like people are treating you poorly. You're being treated unfairly. And
Hmm.
you have it both ways. You put the energy out into the world, which causes you to get that feedback. Now, part of the benefit of that energy that you put out into the world is it helps your music career, it helps your music, it helps your notoriety, and it helps your exposure, which at the end of the day does help you individually. The drawback that comes along with that is people are going to have stuff to say about you. And it is incumbent upon you to understand that that is not a reflection of the world. That is a reflection of the energy you specifically put into the world. But an individual who has grown up having their narcissism rewarded can never understand that because all they know is feed me my attention and
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to sacrifice anything.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that Tom Brady is talking about is the very same dynamic. These guys who are basically making decisions on playing in college based upon NIL money and social media cachet, they only know a world in which their narcissistic tendencies have been rewarded.
It's crazy.
Rewarded because they get followers and likes and comments and endorsement deals. So literally you're being rewarded for your narcissism. Literally. Like there's no other way to slice it. That's what's going on. Like
Mm-hmm.
that is what has beget NIL. Literally. Is people being rewarded. See, back when Instagram first came out and we first started to see the tea leaves for this stuff, they called it influencers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do your thing on social media, post, stuff that's going to get people engaging. For women, it was basically just be naked, right? So be naked. If you're a woman, be naked on social media, leverage your body, show off how sexy you are so that you can get all of these followers and then you'll get paid for that activity. You are literally being paid for your narcissism. So we are now 2 or 3 generations removed from the initial inception of this. So of course it's going to matriculate down into other avenues, business, sports, the household, life, family. We're going to see it everywhere. It's like
Mm-hmm.
a virus that has no cure. Well, of course viruses don't have cures. So yeah, it's like a virus. And there's no stopping it. It's just learning how to best live with it. But this is no different. This is Lizzo territory, Meek Mill territory, Tyrese territory, Doja Cat territory. This is I have no sense of accountability in the world because all of my adult life I have been rewarded for my narcissistic behavior.
Mhm.
These kids stepping onto the football field or walking onto the basketball court, they've been rewarded for their narcissism their entire lives. So really, you can't blame them. Say, I don't know whose fault it is, the world, internet, the social media companies. I don't know who you chart for this, but we are living in a day and age in which narcissism is rewarded. And we're seeing it observed at a grassroots level. I've told you before, I go to a very basic mainstream gym. I would call it that. I don't go to like what's the name of it? Like those
Golds.
no, gold is mainstream too. But
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like I'm trying to think of the name of this place. There's a gym that's real high level that famous people, celebrities, people who are rich go to this gym. It's like hundreds of dollars per month in membership fees. It's absurd. I don't even go to a gym like that. I go to a basic mainstream gym pop gym. And even in my basic gym pop gym, I see these people coming into the gym all the time looking to record themselves during their workout. Now they
Yeah.
believe they're content creators. So
Yeah.
they have a right to be able to do this in this public space that's supposed to be shared by everybody. But if you disrupt their activity, you're in the wrong, even though we all are entitled to this public space. I pay my money too. But you can't explain this to these people because all they know is being rewarded for their narcissism.
Oh yeah.
So this is the world. So this is the world that we are living in. And all I can say to people like Tom Brady and to Tom Brady himself is I hope you are raising your children to retain some kind of balance in their
Oh,
life.
yeah.
That's the only way that you can do. That's the only thing that you can do to combat this. If you have children of your own, raise your children to retain some semblance of balance. Raise your children to understand the importance of accountability and to understand that narcissism is not a redeeming quality, that you should have respect and consideration for others in the world, and that it does not make you a better, more superior person to run roughshod on other humans just because of your narcissistic ways. All you can do is teach your own children these all you can do is teach your own children these qualities, these traits. You can't do anything about the rest of the world because the rest of the world is going to go to shit with everything else. But all Brady can do is teach his kids to have balance, to be on their square, to not be a narcissist. But otherwise, yeah, this is bigger than sports. Yeah, you can talk about NIL and not caring about team and all of that kind of stuff, but this to me is a microcosm of what's happening in the world, where at
Correct.
large no one gives a shit about community. And
Correct.
furthermore, no one gives a shit about respecting others, especially in public spaces.
Yep.
No one cares because it's me, 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 I. Reward me for my narcissistic behavior. Feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me. Give me my attention and to hell with everything else.
Yeah, bro. I saw these kids grow up having access to this foolishness. And I'm sitting here complaining at the time, like, this is toxic. This is toxic. This is toxic. Hey man, no, let's not consume that. Hey, y'all, basically what we're doing here. You know what I'm saying? But I was doing this when they were growing up. They're here now. And people are going, oh, what are these kids? They're acting like divas. They're acting like this. They're acting like that. Where do you think that's coming from? I don't blame these kids at all. They're following their goats.
Yeah.
And their goats was out here doing that goofy stuff. And, a whole gang of people, are easy to tear apart when they're separated. So, and they're easy to be controlled, which ties into consumerism quite a bit. Be your own unique individual and buy your own different clothes of this, and that, and all of that stuff is part of marketing. And a community mindset is too strong. It has values of its own that may differ from the mainstream. And so I think what also did away with home and community and stuff like that, the rise of apartment complexes and and people jumping from place to place year after year, we've gotten a situation where we've just got a whole bunch of people that are divided. And with that division becomes this solitary confinement thing where they're just living in their own world, but not with everybody else. Even though they're on social media connecting with everybody, they still live in that same bubble.
Yep.
And this is the remnants of that. And these young men are literally, I look at them like they're literally the fruits of it. Like, I'm not mad at these kids for actually doing. I'm mad at the people from previous generations, the people that still enable this, that should know better. But Tom Brady taking a stand, because there's a lot of young men who still look up to him in the football world, who do look up to him in the football world. And for him to be saying these things, to be a guardian of the old guard, I enjoy that, man. We need more people from the old guard to speak up against this stuff. So, the youngsters could follow suit the right way. Because one thing that I was upset when I was in like 21, 22, like really finding my footing as a person and knowing the world and knowing history, I was throwing stones at my dad's generation. Like, man, what y'all was doing? Y'all didn't see this coming a mile away. They did. It was just not enough people on the fight.
Yeah.
And so now we're in that boat, bro, where it's like, hey, y'all gonna let these young kids throw stones at us and say, bro, y'all let them people come in our bathroom, bro? It's like, no, I wasn't cool with it. Well, what did y'all do about it? So there has to be something that's done about something. So shout out to Tom, man. Post-retirement Tom, man, making a comeback, gaining points out here. But he definitely has some strong values, and you could see why he won so much. He wasn't playing about having standards and values.
Yep. Yeah. And he's also unafraid to say these things without worrying about people calling him old, because that's what they're gonna do. Like, anytime people get on their soapbox and speak like this, basically all that you get, the response is you're old, you're out of touch, or you need to get with it. It is, you know what I'm saying? It's basically just ageism talk. Like, it's like it's age shaming almost.
Oh yeah.
And Brady appears to not care about being called old for saying stuff like this. Like, as I've gotten older, I have learned that just because it's older doesn't mean it's worse.
Thank you.
And just because it's new doesn't mean it's better.
Thank you.
And so, but I feel him. And more people do need to get off my lawn, because we're at a critical juncture when it comes to the soul of humans in the world, much less in the West. And it's going to take people who are unafraid to dig their, to not want to be smoked out of their hole, on account of people saying that they shouldn't think the way that they think because of their age or lack thereof. You can go to hell with all of that. Just because it's new and young doesn't mean it's better. And just because it's old and comes from a previous time doesn't mean it's worse.
Last thing, and that's facts, but that's an individualistic way of looking at the world. But a more communal mindset incorporates elders. They don't banish them.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man, we got to have our elders, bro. We elders, bro. Get off my lawn, young man.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, get off my lawn. Hey, bro, we doing it good though. You know what I'm saying? We balling with it.
Yeah. Shouts out to Tom Brady. Shouts out to Tom Brady. And look, man, my age is my age, but I can assure you that I am physically much younger than a lot of guys 15 years younger than me. So for whatever it's worth, get out of here with all of that age shaming stuff. Shouts out to Tom Brady.
Y'all can't see it, but my grades is coming in, bro. I'm gonna be out here balling, bro. Die what? I'm gonna be out here crispy as hell. Just watch.
Yeah.